Hello folks, these are the notes that you should have been taking during the Zoom meeting today. That was at 1 o'clock, April 6th, 2020. Make sure your notes are complete by the time we're done with this video. Date, top right corner, your name, because you're going to be submitting a picture of this and submitting it through Google Classroom. Notes, circular review. First section says simplifying. Second, which is about 2/3 of the way down, adding and subtracting. Third is comparing. For now, we're just going to focus on simplifying and equivalency. Make your table. There are 3 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. The first column, the title is items. Second column, fractions. Third, simplest, as in simplest form. And the last one is equivalent. The first item we're going to focus on is cupcakes. What I'd like you to write down, zoom in so you can see. Under cupcakes, I'd like you to write down 24 out of 126. So 24 out of a total of 126 items in the bakery are cupcakes. We're going to write that in simplest form. So we're going to make an equivalent fraction, equal sign, that is simplified. I take my notes down here. Notice I left a lot of space under this table precisely so we could do these notes. So example A, labeled 24 out of 126. What I'd like to do is simplify it by dividing the top and the bottom by a common factor. So a number that'll go into 24 and 126, I'm going to give you a hint. 6. (24) divided by 6, and you get a 4. 126 divided by 6. By the way, I looked at a calculator for this one, just so you know. You can do the same. Gives you 21. That is simplified. So I'm going to fill that into my chart. 24 out of 126 simplifies down to an equivalent 4 21sts, or 4 out of 21. So now I'm going to rewrite it in simplest form. 4 out of 21, fill it into the chart. And for funsies, make up another equivalent fraction. Because why not? It's good practice. So I can multiply. I can't divide this number down any further because it's already in simplest form, but I can multiply. So you know what I'm going to do for funsies? I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 100 and make another equivalent fraction. 4 times 100 is 400. 21 times 100 is 21, and then 2 zeros. So 400, 2,100ths. You will see a problem just like this on the homework that is going to be assigned tomorrow. Now, a second example. I'm going to make this example B. Also, B stands for brownies. So back to brownies. So let's say for a minute that you were given the total number of items in the shop. You were given that fraction in simplest form, 2/7, but let's say you were not given the number of brownies. You're missing that part of the equivalent fraction. So now we've got to figure out how to find this missing value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the relationship. So I don't have enough room to do my work here, so I'm going to bring it down here. Example B. My problem setup looks like this. Something over 126. I'm going to put a little ghost box up here because eventually that value is going to be filled in. Is equal to 2/7. Things we know about equivalent relationships. What I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom, or what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. And they are equivalent. So let's find the nature of that relationship. What I do is, now that I have these equivalent fractions set up as equal to each other, I take arrows and I go from the fraction that has all of its information and I bring it in the direction of the fraction that has missing information. So from this side over to this side, I'm asking, what is the relationship? How does 7 become 126? Well, if I'm not sure, divide. What's 126 divided by 7? I get 18. Therefore, 7 times 18 will give me 126. What I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 7 times 18 equals 126. 2 times 18 will give me 36. That's my missing value. 36 out of 126 total items in the shop. 36 is what goes in that missing box. And for funsies, make an equivalent fraction. You know, as you do. Well, what's an equivalent fraction for 2/7? I can multiply the top by 2, bottom by 2, and I get 4/14. My only goal with that was to make an equivalent fraction just for practice. Okay, now moving on. You are going to find yourself with a problem that looks a lot like this, and I'm going to show you what I mean. Add or subtract. Well, we're going to think algebraically and substitute values for words. So let's say I gave you a problem that looked like this. Cupcakes plus brownies. Well, substitute a number for the missing value. So under cupcakes, you write down how many cupcakes you have, which is 24. Out of, don't forget the fraction, don't forget the denominator, out of 126. Plus, how many brownies do you have? 36 out of the same denominator, 126 total items in the bakery. Now we can add. Simplify from 2 to 1, from 2 to 1, 2 fractions down to 1. 24, 126 plus 36, 126 will give you 60, 126. Put that answer in a box. Imaginary bonus points for those of you who turn in your notes having simplified this even further, because you can. Okay, that's your first example, but what if you run into a situation where it's subtraction? Well, let's look at that example. Here, we're going to look at brownies minus cupcakes. And instead of writing cupcakes, I'm just going to put CC because I'm lazy. Well, take the brownies, which is 36 out of 126, minus the number of cupcakes, which is 24 out of 126. Now, we simplify those 2 fractions down to 1 using that operation. 36, 126, or 36 out of 126, minus 24 out of 126. What do you get? You get 12 out of 126. And by the way, you could simplify that problem or that fraction down even further. Imaginary bonus points if you're able to do it. And submit your answer. Last one. We are comparing fractions. or rather we're comparing amounts. So let's say, I'm gonna scroll in so you can really see. So let's say you're given the problem, cupcakes versus brownies. You need to indicate using comparison symbols, either less than, greater than, or equal to, which one's bigger. Well, if you recall, cupcakes is 24 out of 126. Our brownies are 36 out of a total of 126 items in the store. Well, which one is bigger and which one is smaller? Because the alligator, as you will recall, will eat the bigger number. The answer is that 24 out of 126 is less than 36 out of 126. The alligator eats the 36, or the number with the bigger numerator, if they have the same denominator. If you would like to doodle a little bit and make this a little mouth that's about to eat this, you're perfectly welcome to. And don't forget to put your answer in a box. And those are your notes. Be sure to take a picture of your finished product with all your notes complete. Bonus points, imaginary bonus points, because I can't actually give extra credit if you can simplify these down. Submit your answer via Google Classroom under the assignment, and you're done.